Hello Facebook ads people, I'm Konstantinos and this is the Facebook ads breaking news podcast. Hello Facebook ads people, another podcast, I believe it's number 31. Let's go straight away to it. We have a lot of questions from you and I also have one or two topics that I want to cover, but it's going to be mostly your questions. As of this week, so let's analyze a little bit because I'm seeing a lot of people sending me messages and they ask about results, how are the results across the platforms and everything. What we have analyzed several times, and the reason that I'm doing this podcast is actually this. I would like to tell you what I see week per week in terms of results. We said plenty of times here in the podcast that from the start of the year until February, we had very good results. Then we had some lesser results in the next month and stuff. But the previous month on May, we had in most accounts, okay, whatever I'm discussing here, it's all about trends between different accounts and everything. It doesn't mean that your account didn't do well. Maybe you had an account that did well, but I'm talking about the trend, okay? So in the previous month, we had at least 2 weeks of bad results, even for trained pixels and good accounts. Now this month we have very good results, stable results for the bigger pixels and the more old ad accounts and the trained ad accounts and everything. And now we have some problems with the new ad accounts, with new pixels and stuff. It's a little bit more difficult. The CPMs are higher and stuff. Why this is happening? We need to understand that Facebook is also a marketplace like everything else, and it's being influenced by the actions of the people, and of course by the actions of things that are happening all over the world. For example, you are having very good results on February. Everybody's talking about it on forums and everywhere. A lot of people are saying, okay, Facebook is my way of doing ads and everything and getting money and having profits. They try. All of them, they come inside, it's becoming, super not affordable for the smallest players, and the more they come inside, it's becoming even not affordable for the bigger players that they have data and pixel data and stuff, and better marketing most of the times, better sites and everything. So the situation is that a lot of times things like this happen, the results are very bad and we can see it across accounts, me, my friends, all of the accounts that I manage and stuff, I can see it. It's like a trend across all of the accounts, and a lot of times it's going to be improved when all of these people that they came, the ones that they are losing the most money, or they don't want to spend more money, or they don't have money, or they didn't make any money, they're going to leave and we will have a new balance, because this is what Facebook is all about. All of us advertising, and whoever can make profit can stay, whoever not, these are the rules of the market, and there's going to be a stabilization and the balance no matter what. So back in the days, we were having much less people advertising, and we were having an audience which wasn't trained to the advertisement of Facebook, and this is why we had better results. Now we have more and more people coming, especially after the pandemic. There are a lot of companies that they said, okay, enough is enough, we're going to do also e-commerce, because they realize that they cannot just rely on retail or whatever. So this is the situation. Right now, I can see that this month is very good for the medium to older pixels. They're doing pretty well. But we are having major issues with the new pixels and the new ad accounts. They're struggling a lot. The ads are starting with much higher CPMs. I will try to put content that is going to be related to that, maybe with some examples and everything. Also, I created one video that I saw that in the period of May, in a major brand that I have, they were having issues. The break-even ROAS over there, it's on 2. I was having 2.5 ROAS, and for 1 week and a half, when the trend was down with the Facebook ads, I was having 1.7. So we did a promotion, not to inflate the results, but I have a video that I prove that, okay, this week of the promotion, everything was inflated, but it's continuing up until now, which is 23 of it's already the end of June, and here in Greece, by the way, it's raining all the time. I haven't even done one visit to the beach because of that. Crazy for the standards of Greece. Anyway, the situation is that all of this has brought now a new health to the account because all of the data that came inside, they helped a lot. And now we're actually having again 2.5 ROAS, and I made a video about that so that you can actually overcome these kind of situations maybe with a promotion instead of just removing all of your ads and trying new things all over again and again, because it's not that if you remove your ads and do something new and stuff, it's going to work magically. It's going to start working when, of course, strategies are important, but it's going to start working again when it's going to work for everyone based on what I said earlier. On top of that, before we go to our main topic and then to your questions, I would like to inform you that I will make one presentation. It's a 30-minute presentation. It's going to happen on the 26th of July. The participation is free. It's called Social Media Marketing Day 2023. My topic will be the art and science of Facebook advertising, optimizing your campaigns for success. And basically I'm going to talk on how the hot pockets are being formed, how you optimize, what you should look, and in general, the journey from creating an ad up to optimizing it and how to keep it or scale it. If you want, you can watch it. I will leave a link in the description. Let's go to our main topic. Our main topic today is agencies, because on periods like that, you can see what kind of damage unprofessionals can do to our industry. And let me explain. Basically, I'm seeing posts from people inside Upwork that they say that I got burned by an agency once, I won't let this happen again, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me. There are some things that we need to discuss over here. First of all, if you are hiring an 18 years old guy to do your ads, then that's your problem, I guess. Because an 80 years old child is just a hustler. It's not a normal businessman. Of course, there are going to be exceptions. Even an 11 years old boy can be, or girl can be, an exceptionally good businessman. But I'm talking about the new mentality that it's in the youth right now, in the young generation, let's say, that because I'm 36, I don't consider myself into this generation. Anyway, I was born and raised in another way. Now they're born and raised in the way of having a role model of a trapper, driving Lamborghinis, and just showing wealth or trying to show a lifestyle or something like that when it's not needed. Because if you have money, nobody gives a and they don't want to know about it. They just want you to do proper Facebook ads. So they try to convince people from the fact that they are driving a rented Lambo that they are successful and they have a good lifestyle, which means that if they have a good lifestyle, they have a lot of work, which means that they are good. So they go through that process, which I totally disagree with. I think that you should show if you're good or not by showing not case studies, live accounts. And when you're doing a call with someone who is doing Facebook ads stuff, ask them to show them your live accounts and what they're doing there and what's their philosophy. And the other issue with agencies that I see right now is that they hire employees because it's not only the fact that they want to make money, they want to make money without working. They're also lazy. Because the thing is that they have two things. First of all, fake it until you make it, which is a very standard thing, and they say that you are lying, that you are very good at it until you're going to become good at it. With me, I didn't have the guts to open a YouTube channel until I had accounts to show and I was sure about what I was talking. They're the completely opposite, okay? They're just doing, they just have maybe one account or even zero accounts, and they want to actually look like they have thousands of accounts. And the next thing is that they are going to take the job, take the money, delegate the job to someone from India with a very cheap price and everything, which maybe they don't know what they're doing. And all of this is causing a problem of trust, because I know that there are agencies outside there, I have worked in some of them, that as a freelancer, that they provide a very good service and they can give a growth with creating the creatives, doing email marketing, SMS marketing and all of that. And I'm working currently with one agency in Cyprus from my friend Dimitris, which is covering all of that if someone wants the full package. Of course, it's not cheap, but it's having an amazing growth. I have shown accounts like this in some of my case studies. The thing is that there are other agencies that they're going to take that and they are going to put the minimum effort, because for them it's just a game of volume, okay? If they have leads, they're going to take another, and if somebody stays for a second month or third month, that's a very good win. If not, we will have another one, and this is how they keep making money. This is causing a very big issue for all of us, because people think that, everybody's a scammer, for example, and they're going to run their ads and it's going to be problematic. Well, it's not like that. And I'm not talking only about me, I'm talking about a lot of people that they know what they're doing with Facebook, as they have actual clients for many years and stuff. And for this reason, for example, one major thing is, can someone prove to you that he has a client for 3 years? This is a very good thing. If he has a client for 1 year, does he have a client for 1 year straight? Because working with someone for 1 year, it means that you are decent, that you are on time on your meetings, that you are answering in time and you are responsive, means that you are offering a good service, because for 1 year nobody would take you if they didn't have good results, and so on. So keep doing questions like this, try to understand if they're doing it for a long time, if they're established and stuff, and don't believe anyone just because they tell you something on the internet. For example, in the same way that I want you, for example, I can prove it. It's a bad example. I can prove you that I have spent more than 100 million because I have print screens. But if someone tells you something, for example, and they can also have print screens that they have that they're not yours, I guess. They haven't produced these results. I don't know how you can check if someone is lying or not, I guess. The problem is that there are people that they are on the internet and they make bold statements that they have done this and that and that, and people just believe them because they are on the internet. For example, because I have a YouTube channel, do you have to believe 100% of what I say? The answer is no, just so you know. And you can judge whatever I say and we can discuss it if you want and stuff. I always try to be honest with you. The truth is that it's tempting, to just show a perfect image to everyone and stuff. And you have to be very well. For example, I'm not super dependent on my YouTube channel for my living and stuff. This is why I can be honest and I can do whatever I want. I don't judge people that this is their only thing that they're doing and they have to put a persona, which is another thing. For example, there are people that they have a completely different persona on their YouTube channel from what they are in their real life, which is also something, because I hear a lot of people telling me he's not like this in his real life. I don't care. He's like this in the social media. He means that he doesn't care about how he looks or if he's okay or not. Anyway, that's the situation with the agencies that I want to point out, because we are in a period that we are having a tough period with results, and more people are going to start talking about bad agencies or what they have done and everything. And there are people that they will try to exploit this period and say that, these results are bad, we can get you 5 ROAS, for example. There are other people that they are super desperate and they're going to say, we're going to work with you with even if we have 0 results, don't pay our fee. The problem is not the fee that you're not going to pay. The problem is that if they spend a lot of amount of money without you making any profit, still you're losing money also from there. So choosing who is going to do your ads is not the problem is not the money that you're going to lose on the fee. The problem is also the money that you're going to lose, the time, problems that they might come because you didn't reach your goals and everything. So be careful who you are picking. Just do a very good research about them. Try to learn about them. Ask many questions. It's fine. whoever is irritated by your questions, and at the end of the day, if anyone is irritated by your questions and you're not a good fit, it's fine. Just try to find someone who is going to be able to answer all of your questions. And even if you are a little bit suspicious of anything and stuff, it's totally fine. Just try to find the proper person for you to do your ads, and don't believe anything or everything that anyone is telling you. Just because they send you something, it doesn't mean that it's correct. It's completely different of watching print screens and completely different of watching PDFs. And understand a little bit that agencies, they do work with a different model like volume. So they want a lot of ad accounts. They don't care if your ad account does well. If it does, it's fine. They're going to do the basic things, 1 or 2 campaigns, and that's it, because they want to have a lot of these accounts, and they will not care to go an extra step and do another strategy, another thing. They're very big fans of consolidation because they believe that it's better to manage an ad account, no matter what the spend is, with 3 campaigns. All of these things, delegating the job to someone else, the gap of communication between you and the person who is actually doing the ads. All of these are big problems, so be careful. If you want to work with an agency, for me, the only reason to do it is if an agency is providing a wide variety of services like creatives, email marketing, SMS marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads and stuff, and they're combining all together, because a lot of people don't want to work with 20 freelancers, they just want to work with one agency. If you're having that from an agency, yes, it's worth it to work with an agency. If an agency is just doing Facebook ads, don't work with an agency, in my opinion, unless if the owner is also a freelancer and he knows how to do ads. I never say that I have an agency, for example. I say that I'm a freelancer. Some people may think that I have an agency and I am the owner, but I'm also doing the ads. Of course, it's not a bad thing to have 1 or 2 helpers on the accounts. I'm not going to upload 20 videos and lose my time. I have better things to do. I put Marios, my employee, to upload them, and then I'm going to do the ads, or I will tell him how to do the ads, and then I will optimize. But I will optimize. I will be on the account. I will do everything on every single account. And this is the reason that I can take limited accounts also. But it's fine, because I told you, it's not that I'm super dependent on that. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Let's close this. Just be careful, please, guys, because it's pity to think that everybody sucks just because you had a bad experience and stuff. There are people that they can actually help you, and sometimes there are also there's bad matching between you and the freelancer, and you cannot work together because you have different way of thinking. Let's go to our questions. We have Polish here. I had a big debate with him about something. He tells me, "Thank you for answering my questions. You mentioned that how long it takes for the pixel to stabilize depends on how big the niche is. Correct? Correct. What about the country size? For example, if I'm using the same product in the US compared to a country with a total population of 3 million, will the pixel stabilize faster in a smaller country? Thanks. I'm from Lithuania and I know people who are generating thousands per day running the most basic ads on the most basic products. So I assume competition and country size also plays a big role in terms of pixel optimization." The truth is that it does. It's completely different. The same way that you have to perceive the countries in the same way that you are seeing a niche. So if, let's go again to our examples. If the fishing niche, it's a bigger niche comparing to the Labrador owner niche. Okay, so that means that it's easier to train your pixel to the Labrador owners instead of fishing. But if you take these niches inside smaller countries, the numbers are becoming even smaller. So it's also the same thing. Yes, in a smaller country, you can train it easier because you need less data. For example, if United States is 240 million people. The people who are inside the phishing niche are much more many. So you need to take much more many people inside from this audience in order for you to have a representative avatar to your pixel for this niche. In a smaller country, the people that they like phishing, they are going to be less. So you need less people to come inside. So you need less events. This is how it works. And yes, you are right. The problem is that in countries like Lithuania or Switzerland or like something like that, it's such a small niche that you just go with broad targeting and it's just going to be, you're just going to be a part of a bigger niche like men, for example, or women. Because if you're targeting 3 million people, which is nothing for Facebook, eventually it's going to train for one gender and some ages as a broad audience. It's not going to just train into phishing and stuff. It's not going to have enough data to focus to that. Gotcha. I also see big brands selling variety of products, making good revenue, but they use just one pixel. How is it? For the reason that I told you, it's getting trained after some point to smaller countries in something like this. How their data does not mix up? Is it something? Is it somewhere different in smaller countries? Doesn't add up because the men, for example, in a 3 million audience in a smaller country, or 5 or 6, can be 2 or 3 million. This is just an interest. It can be a niche. It can be Lithuanian men, what the Lithuanian men like, and this is a store and how it's going to operate there. So you're saying that if the country is small, one pixel can learn to sell to all the people within the country. Yes, of course, without taking into consideration what are you selling, meaning that I can sell car tires and face lotion using the same pixel, and this one pixel will target customers of both products accurately. So you're taking a very extreme example over here because you're taking two completely opposite things. But if you talk to me that if you want to sell a pen, which is for men, and a hammer, yes, in smaller countries you can have a store that it will be able to do that. But having a store which is selling a face lotion and stuff, again, in 3-4 million people, your pixel is going to be able to understand because it's like using an interest. Your pixel doesn't influence so much what you're going to do in smaller countries. It's not like you need to train your pixel. With some small data, it's going to be fine. But most of the times you will see that there are stores that they have a direction. For example, interior design. They have another direction which is about power tools and tools, about people that, about men, for example, that they do DIY. Other kind of products for DIY for women, like small stamps and very good paper and stuff, so that they can do DIY things. So it's having a direction, and they don't have a lotion and car tires. I have never seen this in the store, and I told you that in the comment. If you have seen it, send me to see it also. And then it says, so if I want to launch a health beauty brand here locally, I probably shouldn't consider using several pixels, or that would initially depend on how trained it is. And then I write him an answer and I tell him, after 5 or 6 questions that you have done here, I would expect you to answer me of what would you do. And he says, I just want to be 100%, I understood everything correctly. I tell him, no, just tell me the answer. And he replies 1, which is the correct answer, because you don't need several pixels, especially in a small country, if you want to run in the beauty niche. Even in the United States, you can run on beauty niche, and you can have a mascara, you can have a makeup, you can have, it falls under that category, or you can have other things. It's all in the beauty niche. It doesn't mean that because you just have a big niche that it's not a niche. It is a niche, and you can have this kind of niche. You can have the beauty niche. You can have the niche of mothers, which is huge also. So there are bigger niches, and the whole game is being played in the bigger countries. If you have a sub niche, for example, you have acne treatment products, then this is a sub niche of the beauty niche, or a sub niche of the women, or a sub niche of women that are using some major brands like Avène or La Roche-Posay or whatever. So There are the big niches that you can train your pixel towards to, but there are also the smaller niches that it's much more easier and they are considered hot pockets. The thing here is this. The pixel is very important on how it's going to get trained because you're getting better results. I have case studies, for example, with a Christian brand that is getting $5 CPM because nobody now can use interests. So it's like all the brands that they have a trained pixel from the past, after the removal of the interests for the Christian niche, they are left alone and there are, I don't know how many. Whoever wants to enter the club, they have to give blood and tears in order to reach to the point that they will train their pixel efficiently for the Christian niche, for example, because they will have to do it with just a broad target and they will just have to gather data, but paying them super expensive. Yeah, I think that covered it all. Let's go to the next one. It says here, hi Konstantinos, a great podcast again, thank you. After removal of aggregate events, I have noticed noticeable drop in meta attribution. Have you observed the same? Also, any app or solution to help meta more attribution? There's no app about more attribution. It's not that you noticed the drop in meta attribution, it's that you noticed that meta actually sucked, because after what happened with the removal of the aggregate events, the results are not good right now on the platform, and this is also one thing that I believe that it's influencing it, because they're doing changes. We have the beneficial that you need to show into your European ads. We have the aggregate events removal. We have changes in the Facebook platform, and when this is happening, there's a destabilization for 1 or 2 months in terms of the results. So I think that this is also something that you see. I never understood why they removed the aggregated events. I told in another podcast that I believe that they have done it because of the shop ads and they want to transition now into in-platform leads. But you do that later. You don't have to ruin your attribution right now. In theory, aggregated events were helping by giving more events. Now that they removed it, either it means that everything has been improved a lot, or I don't know. It looks a little bit strange. They never told us why they removed it, if this was the reason and stuff. I asked several times, so we don't know. Let's go to the next one. Thanks for replying. I came across a tool, Biotut, we do advertisement also apparently, which claims to increase meta attribution quality. I'm skeptical to meddle with any other account and lose its performance. I wouldn't use it because I don't know it. So it's up to you, Rich. Let's go to Dan. Hi Konstantinos, thanks for the answer. I have an additional to the question. We are in the pet supply niche with products focused on traveling with your dog. Perfect. So this guy is actually pairing two things. So do you see how he's creating a smaller, he's creating a niche that it's all about people that they travel, but they want to travel with their pet. This is a pretty good twist, because a lot of people do pet, a lot of people do travel, but he's doing another thing which is covering the needs of a specific thing, so you can train your pixel better there. We have 100 sales in the past 5 months through Facebook ads, because we're not serious with Facebook ads until now. Okay. In total, our store is getting 5+ purchases per month pretty consistently with the pixel, and CAC are tracking nicely. Do those purchases from other marketing channels make the pixel stronger? And I also have a customer list of 3,500 customers upload to Facebook. Does that make the pixel stronger? First of all, about the list, if you just upload a list, it's not like you upload this to the pixel. You just upload an audience that you can use. So it's not making the pixel stronger. But you can start using them in retargetings and stuff. And then the pixel is going to start taking them eventually. Now, a lot of times we say that when you go to it's your duty, no, not your duty, but you're crazy if you're starting a new business and you don't try Facebook. But you're crazy if it's not working and you continue with Facebook. So a lot of times companies, they start, it doesn't go well, and then they move to other platforms and they have sales there. They train their pixel like this because yes, it's getting this data, even if they come from other channels. The problem is if it can identify them. For example, if I'm buying from Google and I have a Gmail over there, but I'm logging with my high school Yahoo, from my high school Yahoo mail, true story. That means that you're not going to be tracked, because you have a completely different mail from the email that you purchased, for example, from Google Ad, and maybe it's not going to be able to identify you. So some of them are going to be identified, some of them are not. It's all about understanding that this person is also a user of Facebook. We can identify them there, but he bought from another place. And when this is happening, it's very good, because you're actually training your pixel with not all of the data, but with a lot of data, which are still super valuable. I have seen a lot of companies starting with Facebook, failing, then leaving, going to other platforms, and then coming back again, and everything was smooth. The whole point here is this, and the most important thing that I want you to understand. First of all, if you have 500 plus sales, that means that you have a proof of concept. That means that your funnel is not problematic. That means that your prices are okay, and that means that you're also selling. So, in my opinion, you should try now, and now it's the time that you have established other channels, to try to build Facebook, because you will never be able to scale in such big numbers without Facebook. But I believe totally that you are super wise to not start with Facebook and start with other platforms, because establishing other channels is very difficult, and you should not be dependent in only one channel. But not only that, if you have other profitable channels, that you can expand to other channels. If your other channels are not profitable, then this is a problem. And I think that you are in the best spot over here to start advertising. Not only the fact that you have the customers and the list that you can upload and you can do lookalikes, you can start retargeting them and see if you can convert them again. And you can start using custom audiences from your website traffic, try to see if you can get more people from there, or using lookalikes out of that. Your pixel is getting stronger from the data that you're getting from other channels, because it's getting them. I think you're in a very good path. And you should start trying things on Facebook ads, watch our videos here in the channel, and you will get many ideas, I guess. Next one. Hi Costas brother, please can you do a video on how to read data, like if CPC is X, cut it, etc. Thanks for everything. I have a video about that, how to create columns and stuff and what to look. But the reason that I put this question over here is this. The only reason that you will see me cutting ads is ROAS and cost per purchase. These are the only metrics that we're watching on this channel. And we don't care about cost per clicks and stuff after the first day. Only the first day, if I see that something is super expensive, then I'm going to analyze it. If it's having sales and the ROAS is good and the cost per purchase is good, I'm not going to criticize data like this, just so you know. Next one. I start new campaign with CBO dynamic ad for several ad sets so that I can see what creative and text work for us. Okay. My second step is to start the crazy method with the winner ad sets and ad combination, and find that hot pockets by starting a new campaign. Then duplicate the same ad sets with ads. For me, it works right now. What do you think? So basically, you're doing a CBO campaign with several ad sets. Okay, and I'm guessing you're putting different interests inside. Then you're going to take the interest that you have seen that it has the best results, and you're going to run it with a crazy method. And find the hot pockets and start optimizing. I totally agree with you. I think it's a solid plan. A lot of times people, they take my crazy method and they start immediately to using the crazy method without knowing which creative or which copy or which interest is going to work, for example. Okay, so the thing is this. The crazy method is a scaling method, and it's not a method that you should use in order to discover things. The crazy method is the end game. Basically, what you're doing is that you're testing a CBO campaign with different interests. You're seeing that one of them is working. Duplicate it so that you can expand it more, so that you can exploit it more. You can have more sales out of it instead of just using it in just one ad set with a smaller budget. So use the crazy method only when you have proof that this creative is good, this copy is good, this interest is good. I had sales consistently and very good sales. So I want to see if I can spend more on this interest in a more efficient way and creating more hot pockets to it. So yeah, I agree with you. As long as you find something working on the first CBO, you should move it to the next one, the crazy method CBO. Hello Konstantinos, please can you inform us, will Facebook create an Advantage Plus shopping campaign only for Facebook and Instagram without being forced to use website? Thank you in advance. So a lot of people on Facebook and on Instagram, they don't want to have a website and they just want to have a page that they're going to sell from it. In my opinion, it's not professional, but I understand that there are some businesses that they want to do it like this. I find it super hard to believe that Facebook is just going to tell to people buy only a site from the Facebook platform and just ignore all of the website. It's going to be completely different from how the platform was built in order to make money from it. So I would be amazed. I don't think that there are going to be only shop ads that you can run without your website, but you never know, okay? Because we never believed that what happened with iOS 14 was going to happen. So if you don't know this kind of things, basically you can expect everything, I guess, because what happened, it was a little bit problematic. We had also the pandemic. I don't know, maybe, but they haven't announced it. And in my personal opinion, I don't believe that it's possible to happen also. Next one. Let's go Alexander, with Alexander here. Question 1. What cost per lead should I be satisfied with? There is no such thing as what cost per lead. Every account is completely different. You cannot just say what cost per lead I need to have. How much spend should I let Facebook have before I make a decision to close a campaign? It really depends on your cost per lead in that case. So just to clear it, let me read all of it. This is my scenario. I have an ad budget of 1,500 and I'm going to promote LASIK, a popular procedure that costs 5,000. The offer in the ads will be a free consultation and 1,000 discount on the procedure. Any other tips or advice is highly appreciated as well. First of all, you're going for a high-end service over here, and which is being paid a lot. And on the other hand, you're offering something for free. What does this mean? It's going to take you months, I guess, or a month, whatever, in order for you to define the correct number. Why? You're going to get leads. They're going to go to the free consultation. How many of them are going to close? How long it's going to take them to close? Is it a decision that they're going to make on the spot, or it's going to be a decision that they will make in 2 or 3 months? So you don't have this kind of numbers in order to know what is the ideal lead over here. It's the same thing like a subscription model company. When you have a subscription model and you start, you have no clue about how much you can spend for the subscription. You just go blindly. This is what you're going to do also here, because after some point, you need to see with the subscription how many people they are coming, for how long are they staying, and when they stay for this period, how much money am I generating from them. So, just to put it in simple words, let's say, for example, that you have, let's go with your example here. Let's say that you have, that you took from here, for example, 100 leads, okay? And you got this 100 leads with, let's say, I would say $10 each. So you spend actually $1,000. Okay. And you took 100 leads. Now, after 1 month, you come and you see, out of all of these people that they have as a lead, how many they ended up to go to the free consultation? Most probably the number, it should be 100 people. Let's say that 100 people went. So immediately your $10 cost per lead, it's not okay. We will see. So 100 over here. So basically your cost per people going to the presentation, not 100, sorry, 10. My mistake. Sorry. 10. So your cost per people going to the presentation, now it's going to be 100 per presentation. And then you see, for example, that you closed 2 people. Okay? But this happened after 3 months, for example, because they needed time. One of them closed immediately, the other one closed later. So what happened over here? You realize that if you get 100 leads, for example, for $1,000, and 10 of them, they go to the presentation and then only 2 are converting, still you're getting, in that case, $500 USD per closed deal. This, though, took you 2 or 3 months in order to get there and understand it by analyzing the numbers. But you will keep doing this again and again, you will get leads, and maybe they're not going to convert. So you're doing all of that, you're seeing your numbers, and then you are analyzing and you're seeing, okay, if I'm getting up to $1,000 per lead, for example, not like this, but if I'm getting 1,000 per closing, so all of the leads that I will get, I need to calculate to get as many as I can with a lower cost in order for me to be able to get as many as I can, so that I can get 1 or 2 over there that they're going to compensate me. Your example is good here because you're trying to sell something expensive. If though you had something for $200, $300, you would have to have leads for $1 or $2 in order to get such a big volume, in order for you to be able to make profit on that. But in that case, you see that even with 2 closed deals after the 100 leads, for example, in this example, you will still make some good profit because you only spent $1,000 for that. And there is no such thing as all of them converting or stuff. These are you will have to go through the process of taking a lot of them and some of them only converting, but it's going to take you a lot of time to find these proper numbers in order to know how much to spend per lead. Now, how much spend should I let Facebook have before I make a decision to close a campaign? Well, again, because you don't know your initial number, it's going to take you some long period in order to find these numbers. I would go with the cost per lead for sure. Try to understand it. I would try to always improve at the start because you're going to be blinded. You will not know what kind of results you should have. I wouldn't keep something that is not working for more than 4 or 5 days. Let's go to the next question. Then we have Darwin. We have here, hey everyone, I'm doing something wrong, or did they permanently change all settings to force me into using the least reliable method? Rich people living in or recently in this location. Basically, he's referring, and I think I have a video on YouTube that I say that you should not target people that they are just travelers, in an area, because just above the area that you put the state or the country or whatever, there's a drop-down menu that says that people who live here or people who have been recently in this location, stuff like that. And here now they made it mandatory to reach people living in or recently in this location. So you're taking all of the categories inside and you cannot just target specifically for that. I used to use the option where it was only if you lived in that area, like I was proposing. I'm a service-based business, of course. I understand why you want to use that, live in that area. Forcing me to use this system is bullshit. I couldn't agree more with you. I think it's time for me to spend more on Google, Facebook for my small business. It's becoming too pricey and too consuming. It's what I was telling you at the start of the video. Facebook doesn't give a f*** if you don't want to advertise with them. It's going to be fine because other people are going to advertise, they're going to make more money, they're going to spend more. Of course, they want to make the platform easy for everyone to use, but they have a mentality which is all about if you don't advertise, someone else is going to cover that because they're going to spend more because they will be making more profit. And the whole point here is that you might think that, okay, they're going to be sad that you're leaving, but they're not. Let me tell you that a lot of advertisers also, they're not going to be sad about it because you're going to liberate some leads for them. But of course you need to protect your company and your numbers and everything. Okay, makes total sense to me. I would propose you the same even if you were my client. Turning cold leads into paying clients was good when it was under $5 per message. Now for me it's 10 or 15 Australian dollars per message. It's a bit much. This afternoon, in my opinion, don't try to abandon completely Facebook. Just try to sell more expensive services from Facebook, from what you do. If you have this luxury, if you have one package of this or that, try to sell the bigger things there. This afternoon, within 5 minutes of each other, I had two boomers for a click on my ad, costing me roughly $20 without even a remote chance of converting them to a paying client. What a joke. It happens to all of us. If you reckon you can fix my issues, I'd be happy to discuss the cost, but at this point I feel my business, it's time to move on. The only thing that you can do is try the crazy method for the local targeting and try to see if you can get a lower cost per lead. But to be honest with you, there's nothing else that you can do. If your cost is becoming unbearable for your business stuff, you just move on and it was a phase. And if you see again, either you're going to fix your numbers like having a service which would make sense now for you to get messages for $10 or $15, or you're going to go to other platforms. If you do something like that, it would make sense. In other words, adapt. It doesn't mean that you can stop. Just stop the things that they don't make you money and put other services that they would make you money through Facebook. Next question. Hello, hope everything goes well for you. I have a question. I was stable at 6-7K per day with minimum 1,500 profit daily the last 2 months, and the results go down. I was break even since 3 weeks, sometimes 200 profit daily, but not as the last 2 months. I just create new UGC video and exclude all customers on my new campaign. What new customers have to do with your situation over here? Okay, we will analyze it. But Facebook target all my old customers. This is a speculation that you do. Do you recommend to change the pixel or ad account? Now, for people who are inexperienced and they haven't been to advertisement for a very long period, what is happening is that whenever they have good results, they go into a panic mode and they start thinking things. I used to do it. For example, this guy now thinks that Facebook is targeting his old customers. This is speculation that you do on your own. You don't know it. Secondly, and this is maybe you came up to this conclusion with anyway, but it doesn't matter. The situation is this. When you have this situation like this, you need to be super calm. You need to lower your budget. And you need to accept the situation that you're not going to make for a period of time this kind of profit that you had before. It's going to be a lower period and slower period, and don't start closing your ads, which you told me later that you did, starting them all over again and stuff, losing all of your data, because the new ads that you're going to start, they're going to start with bad CPMs. We said Facebook has bad periods. We need to be calm on these periods and just lower budgets and manage it instead of just starting doing this and now let's do this and now let's do this, because this is going to create bigger gaps in terms of losing money. When you're doing this and that and that and that, then something is going to work. But when every account is going to start improving, because the situation is going to be improved. So don't go into this madness of assuming things like, for example, that Facebook is targeting your old customers, which I don't know from where it's coming from, or recommending things like changing your pixel or your ad account, because this is not the issue. You're going to lose your pixel and your ad account and try do another pixel and another ad account just because you didn't have results. And what do you expect to happen? It's going to be even worse. Anyway, I have seen this kind of behavior a lot of times. You just need to be calm, guys, okay? Hey Konstantinos, for some reason ad account doesn't let me create a new rule. It happened to me or you as well. I don't do automated rules because I hate them. In this video that you comment that, it says, should you use Facebook automated rules? And the answer is no, because I don't believe in them. Now, if they are bugged and they are not working, maybe you're doing a favor to yourself that they're not going to work anyway. Next one. I clapped before the clap on 4108. Okay. in my crazy method video, I talk about people talking about competing with yourself and stuff and all of that. And I say that it's total BS, and there's a meme that somebody is just clapping and he's referring to that. Everyone raped my ears with audience overlapping and own competition, blah blah, but duplication was my game. Mine too, my friend. And the problem is that whoever is talking about competing with yourself and your ads and whatever, and you're having good results to show, it's so funny because they just talk about theory and you talk with numbers. In my ad account, and after spending thousands of dollars on Advantage Plus, ABO, CBO consolidated, one ad set with multiple interests, the CBO consolidated interest in one asset worked best for my account. CBO consolidated, okay. I am trying the crazy method in CBO that has one asset of consolidated interest, same asset multiple times across to calculation. I love how straightforward you are cutting this. The crazy method is working very well. The truth is that one note that I have made is that right now into bigger ad accounts and to ad accounts with trained pixels, especially after the change that we had with the new Advantage Plus coming, because now the Advantage Plus is here and it's being used heavily. So the algorithm is also getting a lot of data on how to optimize in one ad set, and this is helping it a lot in order to improve to that. So I would use the crazy method. I still use it in big ad accounts, okay, but I would use it mostly in new ad accounts because it helps you overcome things like randomness of the initial results and stuff when your pixel is fairly new and everything. And I would use Advantage Plus in new ad accounts or even consolidated methods over there. But of course you can use also the crazy method, whatever it works, guys, at the end of the day. But yeah, consolidation can work pretty well right now on older ad accounts, not on new ones, which you have to use all of my strategies on new ones until you have something rolling. Next one. Because our spending limit is so low, $70 per day, that after distributing I daily spent to all ads and each ad barely getting any money spent on it, about $2 per ad max, does that affect our burn rate until our pixel is trained and we find a winning campaign? Or would our burn rate be lower if we had less ads and more ad spend per ad? First of all, you should not, the budgets are daily, okay? We're having daily budgets and they're being spent daily. So for example, if you spend $70 in that case and you have 10 ads inside and each one of them is just spending $7, but your average cost per purchase that you are getting sales is 50, this is a huge mistake. You should not do that. What I would do a CBO campaign in that case with $70 and 3 ad sets, something like this. But you shouldn't be doing so many ads inside if they are just spending $2 or $3, because it's like you're asking every day from Facebook to give you a sale for $2. It's not going to happen. And even if it happens, it's going to be just a random sale which just came. So be careful with that. And you say also about $2 per month. So you're using too many ad sets. If you see my videos about CBO optimization and stuff, you should not use a lot of ad sets. You should use as many as you need in order to get a decent cost per purchase in a daily level, because the budgets are daily. How often should we be changing the copy and or the demographics? Since Pixel is going to take time to train, should we be cloning campaign every 24-48 hours with same copy demographics, then change after a week or so if doing that, or should we do it on much higher time frame and changing them every 2 weeks, or maybe be changing them every campaign? The truth is that if you have a campaign, especially with your budget with $70 per day until they lift your limit as a new ad account, if you have an ad account and a campaign which is working, you don't touch it. Just leave it. Leave it there, having results, consistently results, sales. At the start, you need consistency. And when you achieve consistency, you try to also get profitability with good ROAS and everything. If you get them at the same time, perfect, even better. But the situation here, the thing here is that there's no such thing as you should touch your ads all the time and stuff. If they don't work, do changes every 24-48 hours, do a campaign, let it run for 2-3 days, see if you're getting results. If you're not, close it, do something else, and so on until you find something. I'm totally fine with that, especially in new ad accounts with new pixels. But if you have something working, doesn't mean that you have to go there and you will try to fix it, improve it, or whatever. If it's working, just leave it. Even if you don't do anything for months, just leave it, getting data there. And when your limit is going to be increased, then you're going to be able to do other ads with your extra spend. Anonymous member into my group. Hi all, I have been trying to get assistance from Meta Support to add the business manager to another account for invoicing. Has anyone had any luck contacting support in a way other than opening a case with the help center? Thank you. Good luck with that. Facebook customer support sucks, and they make it also extremely difficult to reach them out. The only other way that I know, except from the traditional way with the case, is that if you know any Facebook rep, or even a rep that messaged you 2 or 3 or 4 months ago, talking to you about doing a call, if you have any rep, send them an email, tell them I have this problem, and a lot of times they are escalating immediately to a better team, not just a first team of customer support, and they might help you in a much faster way. If you don't know, you're you have to go with the traditional way. Last question. I'm in the Christian niche, brother. How will you suggest me to go about training the pixel? I already have the add to cart copy unlocked. I don't know what does mean, that you have the copy add to cart unlocked. I don't know what you mean with that, but in the previous spring, we had a lot of niches that they had huge interests, like the Christian niche in that case. All of these interests have been removed. I remember that the Christian niche had more than 100 keywords, from gospel to baptism, to Catholic, to Roman Catholic, to Orthodox, to evangelists, to whatever you make. All it had so many different Jesus, gospel, as I said, worship. There were so many keywords that you could use, and it was working very well. Now, what happened is that these niches now, they're just closed clubs. So all the companies that they had ads before with this interest and they have trained their pixels, right now they're having very good CPMs, very good results, because they are only them and they don't have newcomers. The other example is, for example, you're having, let's say, a company that sells pet supplies, and you're established, okay, you're running ads, but even if you're running ads for 10 years, you are always going to have new people entering the niche, even dropshippers, by just doing ads with their interests. And even if there are just people that they spend $100 per day, $200 per day, all of them together, they have access to this niche and they are just taking some amount of your sales with their new ads. Even if there are 100, a lot of people together, they can do some very good advertisement and compete with you. So you're also competing with other people in a daily level that they are just beginners and they have a new e-commerce and they have the luxury of being able to use interests in order to penetrate the niche that they want. In the Christian niche here, you don't have that because there are no interests that you can use. So there are two ways of doing it. What did we say earlier? That this guy that was having 500 sales per day, he started establishing other channels that they are training now his pixel, and he can go now with lookalikes and everything. The whole point of Facebook in this kind of niches is how can you go beyond the interest level and now go to the lookalikes, because after being able to use lookalikes profitably, you have a lot of things that you can do, like stack lookalikes and a lot of other things, and keep doing campaigns like this until you reach the point that you do broad targeting. But in that case over here, you don't have the luxury of using interest, so either you will go with other alternative channels and you will have your pixel into your site in order to gather all the data and continue getting sales and training your pixel for you from the alternative sites, establish them, and then start slowly on Facebook with a small retargeting, continue with lookalikes and stuff. The other thing is to have a lot of money and start burning money with broad targeting campaigns or general interests, in order for you to be able to get more and more and more people that you're going to pay super expensive, because For every customer, you're going to pay a lot of money because your pixel is not going to be trained. You will have bad CPMs, and unless you optimize in a hot pocket, you will have very expensive cost per purchases and stuff. And a lot of times people with investors, they go through that process and they say, okay, we're going to burn 1 million in 1 year. We're going to just do broad targeting. We will do our best with creatives and stuff, focus on creatives and stuff, and get as many people as we can in order to train our pixel and then be also part of this closed club. But it's not easy because it needs either an enormous amount of money or crack the code with other platforms in order to train your pixel, and still you're going to have problems to be able to get a decent amount of data into your pixel in order to overcome it and go to the lookalikes, because the Christian niche is also not a small niche, it's a big niche. That's all your questions. Yeah, it was fun, I guess. Let's go to the Freelancer Diaries, which I see that it's a huge. I don't remember why I added it, but let's see. I have an online course that I have created on communication skills. I've had some practice students and been told that it's quite good. It's hosted in a platform that we're going to blur here. Here's the link. We're going to blur also that. If you click this link, you will be able to find all the modules in contains at the bottom. Let me know if you need to see the whole course in advance, and I will give you free access if you're choosing for this product. Then you will automatically receive free access to the course. I'm now trying to sell it. I have the base version for $2,099 and the bonus version for $499. That's included one-on-one WhatsApp coaching. Basically, I'm looking for someone to sell one course at $299 because my subscription is already paying for that. I would need to update my version and pay a lot more a month to sell $499. Oh, so he doesn't have it. After you sell one course, I will pay you the $150. Yeah, I start to notice the problem. However, if you do not sell at least one course that I can see in my account, you will not be paid anything, and you will receive a poor review. Oh, it's not. It's not only that. So basically, why are you sure that you have such good creatives or anything? Do you think that anyone can sell everything? Don't you think that it's also your funnel and everything else? As that is the deliverable, and I'm tired of people on Fiverr and Upwork making big promises and not coming through. This has happened to me multiple times, so please only apply for the job if you're extremely confident you can do it. I don't want anybody wasting their time, and I'm not going to waste my money again. You saw me the results before I released the money from Iskro. There's no fucking way that you can work with someone like this. And this is also what we were saying at the start, that he has worked with people that they have actually tricked him or promised him sales and stuff. I never promise anything, by the way. But these people make him now, you cannot work with a person like this because it's judgmental. They don't know what they want. They know what they want, but they don't understand that it's not only you. It's not like you can sell no matter what. You can get me a sale in whatever way is most comfortable for you, of course. If you want to use Google Ads, YouTube Ads, Facebook Ads, if you make sure the sale using paid ads, I will reimburse you for up to 50 or 75 in ad spend. So he's even going to cover you some of the ad spend. After the sale has gone through and you've shown me your screenshots of running ads and the cost of ads, I'll need a screenshot before I pay you this extra. By the way, this person in his head, he's thinking that that's totally fair. That's totally fair. I'm totally fair with them. But the truth is, another thing that we said in the channel, that, dude, you are the entrepreneur. You have to take the risk. If you just want others to just give you leads and stuff and getting paid only for that and everything, I don't know if this can happen or if someone is going to accept it. If someone accepts it, good for you. Well done. Or you could do it the pure sales route with any marketing using LinkedIn Sales Navigator to find potential clients and then closing them, or messaging on Facebook or Instagram, or calling or cold calling, or any other tool. Or if you have any other ways in selling for online courses, please let me know, and feel free to use whatever method you're comfortable with. If you complete this project successfully, then I would like to invite you to possibly of a partnership where you get 50% commission of all sales, so 150 for the 300, 250 for the 500, or you could even become a partner in the business if you have a great marketing or sales skills and want to work together and advise me on marketing matters. So, why did we did all of that? Here in this channel, we like also to discuss a little bit about the mentality that you need to have. First of all, it's super close to what we discussed about agencies, about people promising stuff and then f***ing up the mind of this guy that he's never going to find now a good person to work with him because of the way that he wants to operate. When you're starting a business, you cannot expect the other people to become a partner of your business or whatever. You need to find success first on your own, and then you're going to find people that are going to come. And of course, when they come, they need to bring something to the table. Most of the times when you have a business that has zero sales or whatever, and you want to bring someone, he should not take 50%, he should take 80%. Have you thought of that? Because if he's coming here with his skill set of selling the course, you should take only 20%, my friend, not 50%. He's giving more than you. You just created a course. Did you do anything else? But if you create a course, if you start having sales, and then somebody else comes and says, okay, I can bring you more sales, then he's going to take the 50%. So, first of all, we have this situation over here that you want to operate with affiliate marketing or whatever for someone who's going to sell. It's totally fine. A lot of people are doing that. The problem here is that somebody else has promised you stuff. Now you go through this process and they're going to be people. The way that you're going to do it, it's going to be fine because you're not going to pay for anything. But in my opinion, I don't think that anyone would come. I don't believe that it would have any answer to that or whatever. Or maybe people that they will try to send messages on LinkedIn or whatever in order to sell it. That's all I had about it. It's super close to what we discussed about the agencies and how they create a very big problem to the market because they promise things or they do things in a professional way. This person might have found someone to work with and do ads together and try to find a solution together. But as an owner, he should have taken all the risk of spending money about that because nothing is being done for free and there is no success without spending money, sadly. There are some very few exclusions, and I don't know any. I'm just saying that maybe there are some exclusions. That's all I had. I hope you liked the podcast today. We had several questions, which is typically normal when we have bad results. But I will see you on the next one, guys, next week. And I hope that you will give me more questions and stuff. And I hope that you liked it. See ya. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.